In this episode, I want to introduce DJ scratching on smartphones and how you build such an application. Might be better with a real vinyl recorder, but anyway, this is quite interesting. So let's have a look. The solution behind this is the use of a simple audio buffer source node playing an audio file called r.mp3. It's here in the library. And what we want to control is the playback rate of that audio buffer source node. And we would like to connect the rotation rate on the gamma axis. So it's like a vinyl record player. And to connect that rate to the playback rate of the audio. And it's not too complicated actually. So we just do like this. We set the playback rate of the audio buffer source node to a variable, in this case R. And the variable I create reads the device motion rotation rate gamma, which is on this axis, and store it in the variable R. Okay, so the interesting thing now is how do we map it so it makes sense? And I tried out different values and found that 1000 negative to 1000 positive degrees per second was a useful range for me to play with the instrument. And I map it to anything from -1 to +1, which is backwards at normal speed to forward at normal speed. And that would then relate to those rotation values. So if I rotate backwards -1000 degrees per second, then the playback rate would be normal speed backwards. And 1000 degrees per second forward will be normal speed forward. Okay. And also I set default to 0 to make sure that the playback is not playing actually when I start the application, so it stops there. And the last thing that is important to do is to set the offset to, and this is interesting, we need to know how long the audio file is. So this one is 1 second long, which is 1000 milliseconds. So I set the offset of the audio file to in the middle of the audio file. Otherwise, if we start the playback at the beginning and turn backwards with the rotation rate, then we will kind of go outside the samples and that would stop the playback. So that's not a good idea. We need to remain inside the audio file. So set the offset to the value, which is exactly half of your audio file. That would make sense. And then, yes, also, I don't want to have me to press any specific trigger buttons to play the sample, but I just said start equals out auto. So as soon as the application is initialized, then the audio playback starts at playback rate 0. So we wouldn't hear anything until we get the rotation rate gamma coming in from our sensors. Okay, so what happens if we play around with these values? For example, if we map out to -2 to +2, that would increase the playback rate. See if it works. So two things happen. I got a higher pitch of the audio because I played back faster. But then also I ran out of audio because it played to the end of the file when I moved too quickly. So that would maybe require a bit longer audio file to run with a higher playback rate.